Hey guys, my name is Matt with TFT Gear. Today we're going to be doing a review of the Mackie Big Knob Passive. So this is a passive monitor control surface. Basically it gives you two stereo inputs selectable and two stereo outputs selectable. And then you get, of course, the volume control and a couple other buttons. Let's take a look at the back real quick. You have all balanced inputs and outputs, TRS. Here you have input A, stereo, and B. Also on the B input, you have a 1/8 inch line input. That would be for listening to your phone or some other device, an iPad, or anything really with a headphone line output. On the outputs, you have stereo A, of course, and B. So looking at the top, on the left, you have input select, A and B. You have the mono sum. This takes your left and right and sums it together, gives you a mono mix. This is a really great tool for checking the phase of your mix. So you have a stereo overhead, maybe some stereo guitars, you want to check the phase, make sure everything lines up. Just sum it really quick, it'll tell you real fast if you've got an issue. Next we have the mute button, and then over here we have dim, which dims it by 20 decibels. So if you want it quieter but you don't want it off, it'll take it down by 20 dB. Finally over here we have the output select. It'll take it between your outputs A and B. So if you have a near field set of monitors and you have a far field set of monitors, or a lot of people are doing like little laptop monitors so they can check how things will sound out of smaller devices that people are listening to, you'd push that button, go back and forth. And then the main event right here is, of course, the big knob, and that just turns it up and down. It is, of course, passive, as the name would suggest, so this is not an amplifier, this is actually an attenuator. Basically, you set the maximum level you want from your source. If you have an interface and you want your maximum to be all the way up, turn your interface all the way up, and then when you have the big knob maxed out, it lets the entire signal through. And then as you start to turn the big knob down, it just attenuates. To my ears, I didn't notice any degradation in the sound at all. I didn't notice a difference when I plugged it in. I felt like it was really true to what was coming out of my interface, and I was pretty happy with it. Now, why I got this box was because everything I own is in a rack just out of arm's reach. Maybe that's bad design, but that's the only place it'll fit. And so my interface is just over here. It makes it really uncomfortable if I want to turn the volume up or down, dim, mute, all that stuff. Also, it takes you out of the mix position. And you never really want to do that when you're in the middle of a really good mix. Also, if you get hit in the face with a really loud drum beat or something comes out of nowhere, you're surprised, you need to mute it really quick because you're hurting your ears. You got 100 knobs over here that you have to push the right little button. It was just cumbersome. So I got this to remedy that problem. When I first got it, I opened it up and the very first thing I noticed was this thing is built like a tank. It's all metal construction. It feels really good. It's nice and heavy. It's just got really good build quality. The one exception might be the buttons on the top. They feel a little flimsy sometimes, but it's not enough to really make you feel like it's not good quality or to distract you. It feels really good to the touch. What I find myself doing is I have my right hand on the mouse as I'm mixing. I put my big knob on the left side, and just subconsciously my hand will just start to rest on it just because it's ergonomic, it feels good, it feels natural, and you have control just right there at your fingertips. So one feature that came with it that I didn't think I was going to use was this 1/8 inch input on the back. I opened it, I first saw it, and I said, well, that's cute, but why would I ever use that? You have balanced inputs that are far superior, why would I need an 1/8 inch? And then my interface crashed on me. I think it was a firmware issue, but I was in the middle of a mix, my interface goes out. What am I gonna do? Well, I just took an 1/8 inch line output from my computer into the B input on the back of the Big Knob, and I was able to finish what I was doing. The one issue I would say, if I had to nitpick, is that the input select button, when you go back and forth between your sources, it pops. It's not a huge pop, but it's noticeable. It's not gonna damage your gear. It's not gonna damage your ears. And if you're not going back and forth a lot, you'll never notice. But if you have maybe a reference track you're trying to listen to and go back and forth between your mix, it just gets more annoying than anything else, but it's not a big deal. Especially when you consider how much this thing costs. It comes in at $69.99 retail. It came out, I think, in May or June of this year, 2017. And apparently it was pretty popular because mine was back ordered for 2 months and I had to wait to get it. But I mean, it's understandable because other products that do this, that are in this price range, are names you probably don't want to see in your studio, names you might not trust. And then if you start to go above, you're gonna go above by, $150. You're looking at easily $200+ to do what this does. And it's a really reasonable price. So, what's the verdict? What do I think? It's built like a tank. It does everything I need to. It fits into my studio great. It will fit into any studio, no matter the size, from an apartment studio to the biggest studio in LA, with complete ease. And the price is really, really affordable. If you're looking for any kind of monitor control, whether it be volume, input select, or output select, I highly recommend the Mackie Big Knob Passive. So guys, thanks for checking out our review. We're gonna have a lot more coming for you. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if there's anything you want to see, please leave a comment down below. If there's a piece of equipment you want to hear our take on, let us know. If you've used the Big Knob before and you have something to say about it, or maybe you have some questions about it, just leave those in the comments below. We'll do our very best to get to everybody's questions. Of course, subscribe and like. We'll have a lot more reviews coming for us. If you want to see what we do with this equipment, check out our music channel. You can click on this link to hear some of what we've done, and be sure to subscribe and like that channel as well. So again, my name is Matt, TFT Gear. Thanks for checking it out.